Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to Mosaic. Mosaic is... I don't even know how to describe this game. This is gonna be a weird experience. Mainly because, okay, I've got a bit of a bad habit. I don't actually research games before I go into them, but I feel like this is one of those games that I doubly should not have done any research for. Because, I don't know, it just seems like it's going to be kind of freaking weird. And that's a good thing. I like weird. Let's see, I'm just gonna quickly flip through some of these. Master volume, nothing there. Alright. But yeah, one way or another, it's like a kind of dour, post-societal, I don't know. It's a dystopia game. I don't know how to describe dystopia games that much, except for the fact that this one looks dreary as hell, and I'm kind of interested in that. More so, even beyond that, it's being published by my friends over at Raw Fury, who were kind enough to send me a copy a couple of days early. Admittedly, I only have the ability to play a couple of days worth in-game before I hit the embargo, so we'll see how that goes. It shouldn't be too big of a deal, but I figured I'd mention both of those things before I get started. So, without further ado, let's see how dreary this gets. Interesting. Slap face, pick up. That's interesting. 3 new messages. Good morning, honey. Do you know if you'll make it back for your dad's birthday? Love you, Mom. Hello, user Blipping Heaven has invited you to play Blip Blop. Join in the fun today and have your mind blown. Alright, if you don't want to answer, that's fine. I'm not going to try and keep this friendship alive. If you don't want to put in any effort yourself. That is such a real pain. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that at all. I have a lot of pseudo-friendships that have kind of come and gone by the wayside. Mainly because I was the only one that ever actually put the effort in, and it's just like, how do you even... whatever. Anyway. Top 10 crazy conspiracy theories. Number 7, brands are not your friends. We recently heard this one mentioned, and as you can imagine, we were quite shocked. After all, we can be considered a brand, and you bet we're your friend. For example, if you're feeling sad, we've got just the viral content to cheer you up. If your favorite mug just broke, you know we still have it in our online store. And last but not least, we know your birthday and have your address, just like a true friend. Taking a stance against street performers. A recent survey concludes that a majority of voters see street performers as a plague. One popular politician had this to say about it. These career-avert dawdlers have opted to beg for change from passerbys rather than to make an honest contribution to society. Worse yet, they're distracting people who are simply trying to get to work on time. Others says that he despises these delinquents as posing as artists, and adds, we are pushing to illegalize loitering on a citywide scale for the sake of maintaining efficiency. This one thing will change everything. Researchers have finally made the big breakthrough they've been waiting for. The results can be expected very soon. The impact this is expected to have on society as a whole is undeniable. They're saying that this is unlike anything we've predicted in the past 100 years. And after reading this, you'll see exactly why. It's no surprise that online campaigns have already started in both favor and against this new change. Have you guessed what this is about yet? You probably have, but here it is anyway. You need a subscription to keep reading. Okay, so that's it. I'm not going to read any more of that. Let's see. Can I close my phone? There we go. Man, this apartment is drearing me out. Also, this man, pear-shaped. Holy crap. I was hoping that would be for the bedroom. But also sleeping in his work clothes. That is the height of dreary. Okay, tidy hair, straighten tie. Brush teeth. We can live without the straightened tie, but we should probably straighten the tie. I never really had this experience where I was an absolute walking stiff when it came to employment. At least not to the point where I was falling asleep in my work clothes. Shell does that all the time, but that's because she can fall asleep on command. I can't. I fall asleep when it's time, I wake up when it's time, and I generally get about 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and that's pretty good for me. I had about 6 last night, I'm a bit sleepy. Work. Friendly reminder that 5 more late comings. Your contract opens for immediate termination. Oh, right. Save the planet. Turn off the lights. Do I have a go faster button? This seems to be this guy's maximum speed. No. We don't sit down. Looks like that's a security system there. Do I have any food? I guess let's open the fridge. I have no idea if I'm actually on the clock here. Hi! That was a camera angle. Oh. Cheesy meals! Ost Ike. Yeah, I can't read that. It doesn't look like I can eat any of this stuff. Well, let's grab our umbrella, because this is... It feels like a rainy day today. Inside and outside. Can I take stairs? Stairs are good for your health. Nope, instead I take window. That's a problem. Color. What? Well, we broke this man's little tiny brain. But the question is, are there blops? Can you blip? Can you blip the sun? The answer is no. You cannot blip sun. I feel like this is the inevitable end result of The Giver. I don't know how many of you guys watching this have ever seen The Giver. Seriously, you can't take the stairs. Scene? Oh, I guess they did make a movie on The Giver. I never saw that. I read the books. Technically, I only read the first one. I should have probably read the others, but, like, I bought the books from a used book fair, and my mother was, decided she was going to read them first, and after a while, she was just like, yeah, don't. Not worth. Where am I going? I guess I'm going into the darkness. I feel like being terminated from this guy's job is the least of his worries. I think reality is breaking around him. Booting. Blank is awake. Initialize. Feed. System. Status active. Extracting. 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 New extraction cycle established. But more or less, the main thing about the Giver is they're like, more or less, I'm going to be saying that a bunch, but they're just turning people into drones, effectively. They still had wants and needs. They'd still kind of love. They'd still kind of like things, but it very much was one of those... To live in that society, you pretty much had to give up you. And that's all anybody ever knew. And, like, you take mood suppressants, libido suppressants. You had like a very regimented lifestyle. If anything happened that was out of the ordinary, you were supposed to like shut it out. Twins were apparently like bad, and it was this just long series of means to control people in a very dystopic manner. And it was such a fascinating read at the time, because effectively the main character is being raised as kind of the spiritual leader, the only person allowed to have a conscience, or... Sorry, I was just enjoying staring at these people and making them deeply uncomfortable. Anyway, but yeah, he was the only one allowed to have a conscience, and he eventually, you know, kind of rebels. That's all I'm gonna give you. You kind of see it coming. But it was such an interesting and almost quaint story at first, and then it goes kind of off the rails as you actually understand what the society is. But I feel like no matter what, this is kind of what would have been the end result of that kind of society, where everybody is drugged into compliance. Duh? D-U-S? I have no idea. Could have been anywhere from, like, bills, taxes, an eviction notice, reality, any number of things. But, like, humans aren't built to be like this. Welcome back. In our ongoing efforts to optimize your workflow, numerous changes have been made to the OS. Onboarding costs are cut, so if you're confused, don't bother your superiors. Okay, reach milestone that... Do your tasks today. Alright, this is your daily milestone. Make sure to reach it. This is your first extractor. It extracts one resource at a time. Click and drag up from your extractor to grow the structure. Good work, employee 9780674430006. Click and drag sideways from extractors to expand and acquire more extractors. Okay, so those spikes are not deadly, necessarily. Good job. Now make your way up and connect to the milestone. But are these supposed to be trees? Unproductive use of resources detected. Additional extractors required. Click on an empty space to drag the camera. Double-click on a tile to concentrate resources in that area. This is interesting. I'm gonna let him go. So it looks like we're gonna have to make some kind of... I don't even know how I want to describe this, necessarily. Oh, interesting. It goes back down if you don't finish it. Okay, I'm gonna let them finish these things, and then we're gonna do it later. More! Now, can these only go vertically? No. Okay, they can go They can go around. You can't build on top of laws and regulations. Constructing. Why is that looking weird? Extracting more. Okay. Extracting. Oh, this is just downright creepy. Okay, so I think I did this wrong? I've reached it, but my tile doesn't quite match. I could have already failed. Hopefully this will work. If this doesn't work, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It'd be amusing to fail at my job on the first day. This should work. I don't... Okay, there we go. We got it. I'm not... That's kind of an awkward connection, but sure. Directing. There we go. Good work, employee 9780674430006. Click to deliver milestone. Delivering for review. This is horrifying. People honestly are not meant to be like this. Okay. I always love it when the cursor would get like this back on old computers where you could see the after image. That was always really cool. Go for the blobbles. Nope. Is this the rain world ending? I'm gonna get really unnerved if there's a bunch of other dudes just swimming towards this. Nope, never mind. Hey, long time no see. How are you these days? I'd love to meet up. By the way, are you familiar with essential oils? Smiley face. I am so glad I have not had to deal with that yet. Pyramid schemes seem completely avoidant to me in my life. It does kind of help that I have no friends beyond, like, the past couple months. Or no old friends, I guess, past couple months, so, like, nobody to get into MLMs or anything like that. By the way, essential oils, they smell good. They're only useful for that, though. I don't know. I just, oh god, this game is gonna make me really uncomfortable because it's just chucking harsh truths at me, and I'm just like, I hear you, game. Anyway, you are currently 14% less effective than the average employee, and 38% less effective than our top employee, Dan. Give company core values.pdf a new read this evening. Overcrowded metro causes safety concern. Piano construction ready to finish new... oh, Planko, not piano. Planko construction ready to finish new apartments. Taking a stance against street performers. Okay, so it's the same same stuff as last time. What about apps? Blip blop. Ah, it's been revealed. Run! Okay. Do we need the light again? Yeah, we need the light again. Yeah, snap it. Start with teeth. Sometimes it's nice to have messy hair. Maybe. I don't know, my hair's getting a bit long, so when it gets really messy, I can feel it. Like, I think... I don't know. I like short-ish hair, but I certainly look better with longer hair. I just like short hair because I don't have to, like, worry about it. Long hair, like, you have to put effort in. When I was younger, my mother would cut my hair, and she generally was just the, And it feels like we're gonna just Hulk out a werewolf or something. Oh, I wonder if the trigger for leaving the mirror is just brushing my teeth. Well, whatever. Dental health is the most and only important thing to this man. It's the last thing he's got left. Good morning. Well, you look tired today. Sleep well? Yeah. Oh, really? That's unusual. Why are you here? Why do you drag yourself out of bed every morning? I have to make a living. Right. Looks to be another gray day with a chance of rain. Anyway, I wanted to ask you something. What? You haven't really made any friends since you moved here, and... friendly reminder that after 4 more late things... Yep. I was late to work again. Oh, better hurry up then. How about I join you to work? I could hide in your breast pocket. Maybe something interesting will happen. I'm putting that fish in my pocket. Insanity train all the way. I'm curious what would happen if you just denied it all. Oh, overdue. Invoice overdue. Penalty fee added to the next month's rent. Don't want to miss another invoice? Scan the barcode with your phone and install the app. Bank. Now Chow. Coffee Express. Supermarket. Metro Corp. Coffee Express. Reserved. Metro Corp. Insufficient funds. This guy doesn't do jack shit. There's no reason why he should be this poor. And I realize, like, that is how they get you. Like, that's... I don't know. Like, I was looking up rent a while back for living in San Francisco specifically. Because I had a working interview, which, by the way, was an absolute scam. They had me work for them for a day, and then were like, yeah, thanks for flying all the way across the country for this interview. You helped a lot, but we're not hiring you. Bye. And that was just it. And it was just kind of insulting. Because I went there with the expectation of it being, like, a straight-up interview, and they liked my credentials as a QA person. No! The working interview was, like, with 4 other guys, and all we did was sat there and do QA for them for the day. And guess what? They didn't hire any of us. They didn't hire a single QA person. I looked at the company later, and apparently they have this... like, other people in my position had posted about this, but effectively they would just do working interviews for just really grunt QA every couple of months, right before major releases or patches. And it was so shitty. Because I spent like $500, $600 to fly out to San Francisco. Plus food, plus hostel, plus everything else. To effectively work for somebody for $80. And then that was it. And at the time, you know, I was desperate. I didn't have a job. I wasn't a professional YouTuber. The only work that I had done at the time was... Actually, no, I don't think I'd done any work yet. I'd been laid off, you know, months before. And the only other work that I did during that time period was to go work for UPS as one of their delivery guys. Like, I wasn't one of the truck drivers. I was the guy that sat next to the truck driver during the holiday season. So, like, right now, if you see a UPS driver go by and there's 2 people in the truck, that's because they hire seasonal extras to help deliver packages. It's actually a really good system, and it was a pretty great job. Like, I have really fond memories of just going around in the cold delivering packages for a couple of months. but it was not. That wasn't permanent employment. It could have become permanent employment, and that would have been a potential thing that I would have ended up doing had YouTube not taken off the way that it did for me. But like, I don't necessarily know where I'm going with this, apart from just the fact that, like, holy shit, making a living is tough. And, oh right, I was talking about rent in San Francisco, but I was looking at how much would it cost for an apartment like this, and the answer was, I pay less for my 3-bedroom house per month than a person would for this apartment. I'm pretty sure this guy pays, like, easily 50% more than I do. And that is terrifying. And I guess we're just supposed to suck it up and just be like, that's the way life is. That's the way the economy is. What? Do you mean Jeff Bezos should take a pay cut so his employees aren't dying on the job? Preposterous. Capitalism. Call the elevator. I was seeing a lot of ads recently for, like, come work at Amazon in our warehouses. It's got all these benefits, and the pay is really good, and some other stuff. And the answer is, yeah, the pay is really good, but apparently it's, like, actually just crushing. I'm just gonna stare at this. Let's stare at this dude. Just make this guy uncomfortable. But, like, I was just reading about what the conditions are like at warehouses, and I was like, oh, well, maybe the rise of automation would actually help solve this problem. Like, yeah, okay, we're gonna have less people working at these, but maybe the pay and benefits will be better because they don't have to pay so many people. And the answer is no. Apparently, when you have robots at an Amazon warehouse, they expect you to work harder to match because the machines can't work without the human element. There's like, you need to throw boxes into the machine, and the machine sorts it and does all the stuff that a person would have done grunt labor wise. But the problem is the machine has a really high cap. Oh, due. Bills due. That's what it was. I wasn't quite sure what that was, but yeah, so he has unpaid bills. Let's see, what was I going to say? Right. So yeah, the machines say maybe can handle 1,000 packages per hour. Each person can say maybe at cap, at peak efficiency, handle 100 packages an hour. And Amazon's like, yeah, we want 110 from you for 8 to 10 hour days. By the way, no pee breaks, and if the warehouse has a gas leak, you are expected to just stay there and work, even if your fellow employees are passing out. And I'm like, holy shit, hearing about this makes me very glad I never worked there, and God, I just feel awful for anybody that does. And all it would require is Bezos making slightly less money. I mean, there's a lot more to that. I am being far too reductive. This is going to be one of the few games that I get, like, stupid political during, just because I can't help it. Like, it's a game about this grim future. And, like, I'm sure there's a number of people in this iteration of the world that are living well. I mean, this pigeon seems to be getting shit tons of exercise, which is good for that pigeon. I mean, look at it go. But, like, is that man gonna get hit? Oh. I feel like that man is just a ghost. That man is the hot woman. Okay, there we go. I can click on the butterfly. That man is the hot woman from the Matrix. Oh, I see. I'm in control of the butterfly now. I understand. But for those of you that... I don't know. It doesn't matter. Oh, I'm supposed to avoid stuff, probably. It's gonna get crushed, isn't it? Oh, Butterfriend. Okay. You'll be fine. I believe in you, Butterfriend. You can do it, Butterfriend. Don't get crushed. Oh, shit. Wait, Butterfriend survived. It got pushed. It did not get crushed. I believe in you, Butterfriend. Scale that wall. Escape the confines of this horror city. I believe in you. I don't trust these pipes at all, though. I don't want to try and thread the needle on that. That sounds really dangerous. Oh no. Oh no, Butterfriend. Oh no, don't get crushed by the pipes. Get crushed by the pipes. Okay, Butterfriend is safe. We can do it. We can do it together, Butterfriend. You must flee the city. There's nothing for you here. That was the last bit of color in the city. And it's time for you to leave. It's time for you to go where your people are safe. Not that there's anywhere left. Because I can't imagine anyone like this. Ow. No, Butterfriend. You must flap faster. You must flit harder. The sparks are deadly. Everything here is death. Come on. Come on. Nope. 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 Okay. You made it. I believe in you. You can do it. Everything is gonna be alright. You just have to keep flying. And keep believing. Just I'm actually crying a bit. I don't know if I want to play this game. I mean, I almost feel like I'm required to. As weird as that sounds. We're just gonna have a mental break. Today, I guess. Expanding. Expanding. Seems disconcerting. Expanding, expanding, expanding. Hashtag feed initialized. System status active. Blank needs more resources. I love this environment modeling. The low poly lends itself so well to this. It's almost brutal looking at it. I love it. But yeah, I feel like I'm almost obligated to play corporate dystopia type games in kind of my own sad attempt at saying, hey, by the way, like, this shit ain't good, and we as a people need to kind of reject this kind of thing. Not necessarily in its entirety. Like, no matter what, people do have to work. And work together to work towards a brighter future. I just feel like this kind of expression, this brighter future, is bright for the person sitting in a chair right there. And for everybody else, it's just shit. All the way down. And, like, there are bits of happiness here and there, but just not enough. And even then, those people at the top of the towers, the rich, the powerful, the greedy, like, half of them seem to be just awful people. I was watching John Oliver's thing about anti-slap lawsuits, or just slap lawsuits, where they had been sued because they'd made fun of some coal magnate. And the guy had sued them for emotional distress and whatnot. And just looking at the guy and hearing about the guy, he just sounded like the most unhappy person ever. And if, like, a person that is that goofy rich can't be happy too, then it means, like, no matter what, this whole system is busted. Friend Butterfly, let's make our city great again. Build new. I mean, I think building is the wrong thing to do. I recently moved to Portland, Oregon. For a lot of reasons. I just needed a change of pace. I've been living in the... I've been living in the Northeast for a while. And fairly lovely area, but it just... I was used to it. I had been there for a while. And there wasn't as much, like, new or interesting or exciting. And I had to go so far to reach greenery. And admittedly, like, maybe if I'd gone back to Rochester or something, that would have been fine. But even then, like, that's a city that lived and died by corporate needs. It was Kodak that kept that city aloft. And it was Kodak that killed it. And admittedly, like, the city's still going, people are still living there, and it's not, like, super destitute yet, but Kodak was the company that kept Rochester, New York, specifically going. Along with some other businesses that have also since left. They used to have a subway network. They used to have all sorts of things, and now they don't. And admittedly, I don't necessarily think that city needs public transportation compared to some other cities, considering how minimal the traffic was in the area. But it was still very much one of those where, like, it was interesting to be on the other side of corporate collapse. And just how much that ruined people. And honestly, like, held the city back, too. And it was kind of dreary being there sometimes. There were absolutely islands of cool and awesome, interesting things. And it seemed like a lot of the younger people were very passionate about, you know, reclaiming it in some way. There was a huge crafted beer movement and, like, you know, trendy, more like youth-centric stuff, which is kind of cool. I don't know how successful they were. I know they were also trying to get some, like, game development studios to start moving into the area, which I think would do wonders. One, because there's no reason why so many game studios should be in Seattle and San Francisco and even around Portland. Because, like, it's stupid expensive, and why force your employees to go through that? And so, one thing that I've just been really enjoying about this area here is apparently Portland mandates green spaces throughout the city. And for me, that's just this lovely thing. Even just driving through it, and just having vines going up and down, embankments, trees, even on top of some buildings, and I'm like, the world would look so much better if it looked like this. And I think that's the point of this location. But just, I don't know. That's why I'm kind of talking about this here openly and super passionately, when I'm usually pretty mum about my political beliefs. Even if I make no secret of them, I just try not to, because there's enough angry people out there that'll just call me an entitled millennial for wanting some color in my life. Or some sweet jazz when I'm out. Hey, thanks for bringing me along. Wow, check out the person over there. Do you think they're dead? I'll admit I hate goldfish with their eyes popped out like this. It is just really creepy and unnerving. But yeah, that is just a dead person there. Can I not? Some of the collisions here are a little funky. Love, could this be the one? I mean, I've actually heard kind of halfway decent things about dating apps. But then again, a lot of it is straight up just like marketing, so I truly can't say one way or another. Well, I got stomped. I guess there's no actual penalty if I do get stomped, but still. It is very strange going from Disco Elysium to this. But I'm enjoying it. It's got that same grim brutalism that I loved. Admittedly, I think I like Disco's a little bit more because I had control, but still. Ouch. You look like you're a little stuck. Have you considered a change in perspective? There we go. Oh, the dead guy. Go back and see if the musician is still here. I don't hear him anymore. Doesn't look like I can interact with the graffiti, which is a bit of a shame. But that's okay. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I was better at explaining my positions in a way that would make more sense to people. And maybe for me, part of that issue is because I am... Oh, right, I got a message. Warning, for every late coming, salary will be reduced in accordance with your contract. But I guess I've always tried to... Yep. I tried to paint myself as a understanding person and try to at least understand where people come from and why they would think they do. And I try and believe that, like, if presented with a reason, like, a reason with incontrovertible evidence that I am wrong, that I would consider it, look at it, and change the error of my ways. I mean, I've straight up had assholes write pages and pages of things terrible about me. Why do they care if you're late? I just realized. Like, who cares? I'm just thinking about that now, and it's like, he's getting his work done. What what does it matter if he's late? I mean, the real reality is it's just a penalty. It's just a means for them to specifically punish this guy. For being him. I don't know. But no, one of the problems I run into, you can now upgrade your extractors. Upgrade them anymore. Disobedience detected. Interesting and concerning. I guess let's go around. I think it's just kind of going to be distracted over there. Okay, I can do nothing about this thing. Can I just, like, focus fire this sucker? Additional extractors required. Oh, speaking of, we probably have enough resources that we can actually push this back. There we go. I don't think we can get past this, though. Yeah, that's growing way too fast. Let's see. I've already upgraded those. We're just gonna get as many of these as we can, for reasons. Okay. Anyway. The cloud of disobedience is just gonna hang out there. So we're gonna have to avoid it, go around, so on and so forth. But yeah, I guess just to finish my thought about being an understanding person and trying to listen to people and so on and so forth. I guess I've always felt thrown off, maybe, by the amount of people that seem to kind of delight in almost celebrating an existence like this. Oh, we have more space on the right now. That, you know, somehow celebrating this corporate dystopia makes you a better person or a more successful person. I think a lot of it just is like, hey, my job is better than this schmuck's, so I can say, you know, my job is better than this schmuck, so I can say that my life is good. And that bothers me. Because I don't think anybody should ever celebrate the existence of this kind of situation. That this guy is effectively just this horror slave. And this should never be put on a pedestal. And it horrifies me. It horrifies me to think that some people think this is okay. That this is the real job. I don't know. I guess there's a bunch of topics to unpack here. And I'm just going to be slowly stuttering my way through them. It's just kind of like surface level, this is a horrifying thing and should not be. Like, I've had a lot of people over the years specifically tell me, to get a real job. And I realize 90% of people's real jobs aren't even remotely as bad as this. But even if, like, 10, 20, 30% of the population has to go through this level of distress, despondency, just everything, then something needs to be fixed. This should not be celebrated. This should be embarrassing for everyone involved. I mean, obviously, the worker doesn't always have a choice, but, like, if you're running a company and somebody's life is like this because of your company, then it needs to change. Anyway, I think I should stop here because I'm just going to keep talking about this stuff. But I'm actually rather enjoying this. It's an interesting trip. I don't like it, but I like it. It's very unique. And I feel like it needs to be seen and played, if only because, yeah, it's a little heavy-handed, and yeah, it's a little bit on the nose. But I still feel like this is the kind of thing that, like, it's so easy to just be like, oh, this'll never happen to us. And then you just kind of shut your ears out to all of the people who live this situation. And for those of you that are stuck in this situation, I'm truly and terribly sorry. And I hope things get better. I don't know. I wish I could help. I always wish I could help more than just being a person, a voice on the internet. But, like, that helps too. I know that helps a lot of people, actually. And I hope that this influences somebody, or multiple somebodies, to improve the world in some small way. On your own, or as, like, a bigger community thing. Because I don't want this to be our future. This is how humanity's soul dies.